All right, let's get this show on the road. Welcome into Small Business Mornings. I'm your host, Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. I've got an update this morning on the war in Israel that has to do with U.S. hostages and something that I'm not seeing said nearly enough. And dang it, I'm going to say it. This show, Small Business Mornings, it's an opportunity for solopreneurs and small business owners to get together every single morning to live out our dream. Don't grow it alone. Thank you for tuning in this morning. And when you tune in this morning, say hello in the chat so I know that you're here. Also on today's show, the Wisconsin University system rebranded. Okay, well, let's take a look at it through our business lens. There's some things that they did that may feel familiar to us. We will talk about it. I have an update on the Taylor Swift tour. If you've got a Swiftie in your life, you need to hear this information. And our Idea Collective community question of the day. What is one system you've installed in your business to ensure success? Basically, things you do every day or every week to make sure that you hit your outcomes. This is Small Business Mornings. I am ready to go. And as I look through the news this morning, I'm like, I'm actually, honestly, okay, so we're just going to talk here, right? Because, hey, it's my show. And the promise I've made to myself while doing this show is, you know what? I'm going to say what I think. And I'm kind of upset this morning. And I'm going to say something that you're not hearing people say very often. And I'm going to say something I'm kind of afraid to say. And that makes me mad. So here's the setup, okay? There's an update on the war, the conflict between Israel and Hamas, and something hit me this morning. I watched what President Biden said yesterday. He spoke and he was very clear. He called Hamas's actions terrorism. And he said twice, and he even said crystal clear. You know how he says, let's be crystal clear. That's how he talks. We stand with Israel. He said it twice. Okay, great. Good morning, Stephanie. And I think that's Erin saying hello, but I can't see her name in the chat. We're going to make sure that Israel has everything that it needs to defend itself and respond to the attacks. Okay, good, great. But then you go further into the story, and now they're starting to talk about the Americans that are all tied up in all of this. 14 Americans are listed as dead. 20 are missing. And they confirmed that Americans are being held hostage by Hamas. They don't know how many, but they know, at least they've announced, that there are Americans held by Hamas as hostages right now. And here's the thing I'm not seeing anyone really say out loud, or at least I'm not noticing it. As an American, that makes me mad. That makes me mad that someone is holding Americans hostage. Is that a controversial take? Can I say that out loud? Well, I just did. Secretary of State Blinken says Hamas should let them go, that we take this matter incredibly seriously. Okay, cool. What are we going to do about it? And as we look at what's going on around the world in the last year and a half or so, the U.S. and our public and us, we've gotten really used to the idea that we can fight a war without firing any shots. We've sent billions of dollars to Ukraine defending themselves against Russia. Not saying it's a good or bad idea, but it's been happening. We've been sending dollars and bullets and missiles and technology and, every intelligence. But we're not the ones fighting Russia. Ukraine's fighting Russia, and we're supporting them. And you know what? I'm not judging whether or not that's the right or wrong thing, but it's happening. Now, Hamas has some of our citizens, and we're assuring Israel, hey, money, bullets, intel, whatever you want for you to go fight. Okay. And we have an aircraft carrier group that's like scooted itself up right to the Eastern Mediterranean. And you know that they are ready to do the stuff. But what are we going to do about it? It's super early to call for action, and that's not what I'm saying. Not saying that. But it feels to me this morning as I got ready for the show, I read the story that Hamas has Americans as hostages. And I felt this, it made me mad. And then I had this little filter in my head. Ooh, can you say that? Can I say that on my show? Can I say that on my make-believe live stream show that Americans being held hostage makes me mad? And then I thought, yes, I can say that. And if somebody doesn't like it, then that's their problem. They said yesterday, we are aware that they have Americans held hostage and we are asking for their release. Okay, what if they don't? What if they don't? When we zoom out and I take my America hat off for a second, this is awful. The whole situation is awful, and it's been awful for thousands of years, literally. The Israelis and the Palestinians have been conflicted. It's super intertwined. It's super complex. I have no idea how it's going to play out. And I'm not even really passing judgment on all of that. I'm just drawing attention to the idea that I don't need to pick a side between Hamas and Israel because I've picked a side. I'm an American. You've got our people, let them go or else. And there's a part of me that feels like that's a controversial statement. Do you know what I mean? And Stephanie, I see that you're commenting that you're mad as well. Is that weird that that feels like a controversial statement? I'm not saying bomb them. I'm not saying invade them. I'm saying when we say to other countries, you've got our people, let them go or else, that has to mean something. And like I say, we've got a carrier group sitting right there. So, really bad dudes with really big guns are ready to go get our people. So hopefully that's what's being communicated behind the scenes. But it just hit me this morning. Like, I don't want to condemn this country and I don't want to support this country. I've supported a country. I'm right here. And you've got our people. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Man, that fired me up this morning. Really fired me up. And I almost didn't do this segment. But I thought, damn it, I'm gonna. Man, that just really bothered me. We're going to change the subject because I don't want to go on about this anymore. We've got way more lighthearted stuff to talk about on the show. And we've got a fun meme. But I just needed to get that out because I needed to say it. So let's talk about something completely different. When we run into a problem in our business and things aren't working, there's some stuff we can do to try and affect a better outcome. When you need to turn around a product or increase sales or grow, there's a lot of stuff that you can try. So think about a time when things weren't going as good as they could have for you. What are some of the things that you tried to turn things around? You can fiddle with your pricing, either lower it to try and get more interest or raise it to try and put yourself in a new, class or situation of customer. You can redo your website. You can do customer surveys and feedback. You can align your mission and make sure that you're living your why. You can do all that kind of stuff. Review your P&L and your expenditures. Or many of us have messed with our branding. What we look like. If I get a new logo, if I call myself something different, maybe that will change how people perceive me and will change the situation that we're in. Have we done this before? Stephanie, you've done this before? Sarah, perhaps? If I just had a better looking logo or a different way to talk about the business, maybe people would care again. Kind of stimulate some interest. The University of Wisconsin has just done that. The University of Wisconsin yesterday, not that I would expect or hear about the fact that it was happening, but the University of Wisconsin, the system announced a big rebrand yesterday. And it's probably because universities all around the country are in a tough spot right now. And I kind of empathize with them because things aren't going well for higher education, but it's not necessarily because of their branding. University enrollment is going down, and it's been going down. Since 2010, college enrollment's been going down. There are about 10% fewer students in the system now than there were in 2010. And then COVID messed everything up and disrupted enrollment patterns. And just like everything in life, we all kind of reevaluated what was going on. So enrollment is down. And then the other thing that's going on for higher education, I think we've all seen this, there is a loud and very public conversation about how much it costs to go to college. So enrollment's going down, and everyone's having a conversation about how much they cost with them in the room. Like, we're all saying, man, college, it's really expensive to go to you right now. And the response isn't like, how do we make it more affordable and efficient? It's more like, hey, how do we get the loans forgiven so we can afford to give you more money than ever before? Like, college is really expensive. And I know I have a high school senior. So as of September, college tuition's coming for me as well. But the dominant conversation is, how do we get more kids to go? Not how do we, like, do you hear them talk about how much more affordable and effective it's going to be? Not so much. It's just a very weird dynamic, isn't it? And Sarah is saying out loud something that some are feeling right now. The ROI of higher ed isn't what it used to be. Yeah, that is an opinion and a feeling that's becoming more prevalent because it's one of those situations. So enrollment's going down and people are questioning whether or not it's worth the investment. Okay, so what do? They decided to rebrand. Now, if you're not in Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin system is a very powerful entity in the state. It's part of the Wisconsin idea. It's part of the literal fabric of what it is to live in Wisconsin. They got, I think, 13 universities across the state. It's a big deal. Tons of employees, 40,000 employees, 160,000 students. It is a thing in Wisconsin. And they've rebranded. And I can't say that I'm hating it, and I can't say that it's the wrong thing either. This is what they used to look like. Okay, the University of Wisconsin system. That's what they used to call themselves. And here's what the rebrand is. The Universities of Wisconsin. Universities of Wisconsin. So I'm just going to pause for a second. Old, new. What do you think? What do you think? Put in the chat your gut reaction to that. Universities of Wisconsin. I'm dying to get your opinion on what you think of this. The first thing I thought of is, where's the red? I know that the University of Wisconsin in Madison is not, everything. And they have schools all over with their own mascots and brandings and colors and stuff. But when I think Universities of Wisconsin, I think of red. Don't you? Not that blue and black. I don't know why that was the dominant reaction that I had, which is, wait a minute, where's the red? Stephanie says the old was better, but still not great. I can imagine they paid a lot of money to come up with this. That's what some are saying. And Barbara says, well, the rebrand fixes those problems. And critics of the system are taking their shots at the system today. So the first thought that I had was, okay, where's the red? The second thought that I had was, is universities a word? That must be there. I mean, it's a college institution, so it's clearly a word. But is that a word? Anyway, Sarah says, the new language is good. The university system is generally what people are rebelling against. Yeah, some people are pretty mad at the system, for sure. But I saw this and thought, okay. And then here's the third thought that I had. And again, if this is the right thing for them to do, great. I'm not even judging that. I'm like looking at the abstract of this. Where's the red? Is universities a word? And then I thought, similar to a lot of other logos that we're seeing recently, This is remarkably plain, remarkably blocky and spacey and plain. Like the way that they drew the state is like not, do you know what I'm saying? Like it feels very stark. It's not warm. It's just stark. And thank you, Sarah, for telling me that's the plural of universities. So that's a word. Okay, thank you for that. It just struck me as very stark. So again, they go from that thing, which does look very 90s now that you're looking at it, right? To this. And that's what the rebrand is. And Stephanie says it's plain. And I don't like the state line art either. It's a little blocky. It's a little plain. And Stephanie knows her stuff. So all of this is going on. And then yesterday, so now that the new brand was announced, they said the new name shifts the focus from the system to the universities. And it does. It does, because the old name included the word system. The new name includes the word universities. And it will provide a focus on the opportunities that the universities are providing. Okay, that makes sense. They're hoping to raise awareness. That's the mission of doing this. And Susie hits on one thing that many people have asked. How much did it cost to do all of this? And how much will it cost to do all of this? It's a great point. So I bring it up, one, because it's interesting. It's interesting to me that an organization as big as this, 160,000 students, 40,000 employees, would do this. And I'm presenting it not in a way of what do they do and how much money is this? Like, it's not what I let political talk show hosts talk about. I don't care about that. What I care about is you and our urge to change stuff up when it's not working. And stuff isn't working right now for higher ed, so they're trying to make some changes. And when we do something like this, we have to think about it because it's easy for you and me to fiddle with our logos and positioning without really addressing what our customers want. Yes, this may raise some awareness and it may get them more engagement, which is great. But will it address the underlying problems? And next time you find yourself frustrated and stuck, I encourage you to ask, okay, what problem do I need to fix? Or how can I get in tune with what my customers are asking for? Because if you're the university system right now, or universities of Wisconsin, I don't think any potential student that was choosing them over another school was saying, if only they had a better logo. They were saying, boy, it would be great if this was cheaper. Boy, it would be great if my major would be better, or if my class sizes were smaller. Whatever students might be asking about. So when you find yourself in this situation and you're in a moment where it's like, what do I need to do to get my business back on track? Logos, rebrands, websites, those are really attractive options to give someone a new image about what you do. Not saying it's not important. You need to do that sometimes. But make sure you're aware of what the customer's really asking for before you go do it. So this is done. It's out there. They're going to change it throughout the system. And I hope they're also going to spend some time thinking about what the customers are asking for, which is lower tuition. And you should do the same. All right. I had to get those two stories out of the way, and they were kind of negative pants. I don't want to be negative pants. I got some fun stuff. Should we talk about some fun stuff? It's not just negative pants today. This is Small Business Mornings. It's a daily live stream at 9 a.m. Central for solopreneurs and small business owners. It's powered by the Idea Collective small business community. We bring entrepreneurs together to provide the support and resources they need to succeed. The mission is simple. Don't grow it alone. And on this show, we go over the news. And I tell you what I think. And I try and get you thinking. And I guide the discussion. And this morning, those two stories needed to be addressed. So thanks for humoring me. How about we lighten the mood? Shall we lighten the mood? I think we should lighten the mood because I don't want to talk about war anymore. No, war is stupid and people are stupid. That's a Culture Club. lyric. All right. Do you remember last month? No, back in August, in fact, we were talking about a killer business deal that Taylor Swift made. If you want to talk about how to kick ass in business right now, Taylor Swift is pretty much rewriting everything when it comes to making money. She's just crushing it. She's just it right now. She's currently in the middle of the biggest tour of all time, the Eras Tour. And the big business deal that she announced in August that we decided to talk about was that she's releasing a concert movie of the Eras Tour, and it's coming to AMC theaters. Back in August, when we announced this, we marveled at how brilliant it was to create an infinite number of concert seats. Because the thing about the Eras Tour right now that makes it so amazing is you can't get a seat to go see Taylor Swift and her concert tour. Can't do it. So how do you make an infinite number of seats? You show the concert in a movie theater. They signed a deal with AMC Theaters, and it worked. On the first day of being available, they sold $26 million worth of pre-sale tickets. Now that number's gone up to $100 million of movie tickets at $13 a pop. Wow. I'm bringing it up today. 2 reasons. The movie comes out Friday. We've been waiting this whole time for the movie to come out. Comes out Friday. And if you have a Swiftie in your life, I've got a piece of information you need to know. There are still tickets available. We're so accustomed to the idea that anything she does is unavailable, like you can't get in because that's part of the appeal and that's just how it works. But if you've got someone in your life that would love to go see this movie and you thought maybe like I did, well, there's no way you could get a ticket. It's Taylor Swift. She's sold out for weeks. I mean, that's what I assumed. Not true. Let's go back to the board. This is the local AMC theater right down the street from me. They are not sold out for opening night. Being shown in the IMAX, which I bet is just incredible. And then being shown in the normal theaters as well. And they're almost full, which means they might only have a seat or two. But there are a lot of seats still available, which surprised me that would still be a thing. So good for her selling all of these tickets. But let's talk about ourselves for a second. If you've got a Swiftie in your life, you can go right now and get tickets and take them and have one of those amazing evenings with your kid that are fleeting, right? I got 2 teenagers. Well, I have one 20-year-old now and a teenager, and those nights are fleeting. So if you've got a Swiftie in your life, go get a ticket and go have a killer experience because it's available to you for $13 a pop. The other thing I wanted to point out is look at all those showings. One of my favorite jobs ever in college, I worked at a movie theater. I was clean up the popcorn guy, ticket taker guy. Man, we had a blast. We partied a lot too. But boy, did we have a blast when I worked at a movie theater in college. Look at all those showtimes, 6:10, 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9. That's a lot of showtimes. And they know what they're doing. They have that many showtimes because they know they're going to sell all of those tickets. And what else is being shown in a theater right now? Nothing at all. So yeah, you get a Swiftie in your life, go get a ticket. Make the time, do the thing. Tickets are still available, and good for Taylor Swift. One other story before we do the meme of the day, and then we take our question of the day into the Idea Collective community to kick around. Our Idea Collective question of the day, just to get your brain working. What is a system that you've installed in your small business to make it work better? Like, what's a habit that you've installed, something that you like to do to make sure that your goals come true? We're going to talk about productivity systems in the Idea Collective as our question of the day. Let's talk about passwords. Now, don't put your password in the chat. Don't say your password out loud. But let's talk about passwords because passwords are going away. Okay, you have my attention. Because we got to think about how many passwords do you really have? I basically have 1, maybe 2 that I substitute an S for a dollar sign or an O for a zero, or I capitalize one letter, like that's going to stop the hackers. Like, I think almost all of us have that, right? A variation of, you know, uh, Packers exclamation point suck. Capital P Packers exclamation point suck, right? Dollar sign Packers, we have the same kind of thing, but it's always the same phrase. Crazy. But they're going away because when you think of all the digital advancements that we've had, I mean, we have basically sentient computers now, but we're still using Packers underscore suck across all of our different devices. Google has announced they're coming on board with the idea of the industry move from passwords to pass keys. Pass keys, fingerprints, face scans, PIN numbers, not Packers percentage suck, exclamation point. And they're not alone. Google, Apple, Microsoft, they are all on board with this pass key idea. So if you have password fatigue like I do, and it's like, oh my God, I just can't come up with another variation. There's so many variations. If you're tired of all of that, soon that will be across all of your devices. And Stephanie says, I have so many passwords I use LastPass, and they create 12 to 14 character passwords for real. And yes, Barbara, you are so right. I am a hacker's dream. I know I am. I'm a sitting duck for sure. All right, so that's happening. Google's going to be changing stuff up. Okay, let's do our meme of the day. Meme of the day from director of meme, Abby Miller. And this, I need to say it correctly. Abby Miller, your friend, the photographer from Stories Frame Photography. This one I felt because it helps you when you're caught in a moment. Like you know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on. A guy in class got called on to answer a question. And after a short pause, he said, hang on. I'm not dumb. I'm just panicking. And I felt that. The girl next to me felt that. Everyone in class felt that. The world felt that. You're in a keynote talk and someone's like, sir, do you have something to add? Cornflakes? Like you like freeze. You don't know what to say. Hang on. Yes. Oh, my name. Yes. Right. My name, Pat Miller. Yes. Sorry. I was panicking. Oh, so true. All right. Our Idea Collective community question of the day is, what's a system you've installed that made your business work better? There's a whole conversation to be had about systems over goals when a series of actions will lead you to a better outcome, whether or not it hits the actual goal that you've set out. We're going to talk about that inside the community. And if you're not a community member yet, you want to dive into the community, it's really easy to do so and easier than ever before because we offer the 2-week Idea Collective free trial challenge. You come in, you get 2 weeks to complete the challenge, and then you tell us if we are a fit for you. The door to the community is wide open for any small business owner that's just tired of growing it all by themselves. That's why we have the mission. Don't grow it alone. So if you're up for the challenge, you want to change the future of you and your business, take the challenge, scan the QR code, and join us. And you can contribute to our Idea Collective community question of the day. I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Like I say, I just had that visceral reaction this morning, and I just needed to say what needed to be said. And I feel better. And I appreciate you being here as we do it. And we're here every morning at 9 a.m., by the way. It is Small Business Mornings. We'll be back on the air at 9 a.m. Central